On May 21st, 2002, Todd was late coming home from work, really late. Todd had an accident at his work at the steel mill. He fell through the floor 15 feet to the concrete basement below. He was not found for 3 hours and was unable to move his legs due to one cracked and one shattered vertebrae.
I prayed, that I would see my wife and kids again. And, I knew that I couldn't move my legs, but I didn't really focus on, that I'm probably paralyzed. I just wanted to get out of there.
I really didn't know what to expect because all they said is that there was an accident and that he could move his arms. So at first all I knew is that he really couldn't feel or move his legs, and he was just in a lot of pain.
The surgeon said that basically I shattered L2 vertebrae and L1 was cracked. And so they had to put in rods and screws, I think 4 rods and 10 screws to keep the area stable, and then also, I guess some of the other vertebrae were really close to hitting, so they had to fuse that far. And I think they said the surgery was about 9 hours.
It was just like the longest 9 hours of my life because, of course, we were just sitting there the whole time. We didn't want to go home, and he finally was done at 3 a.m. May 30th, 2002. His physical therapist, occupational therapist, and assigned doctor are having a meeting on Monday. They will evaluate him and set some goals.
Todd really illustrates beautifully what we do for people in rehabilitation. He had obviously difficulties with being able to move and walk, but there are less obvious things that happen. That includes things like loss of control over your environment, a damage to your self-esteem. When you suffer a spinal cord injury, you can't walk, but it also has much larger ramifications, and we try to address not only that one impairment, but how it affects other areas of your life.
When Todd first came in, he was very depressed. His outlook was very bleak. He didn't know if he was ever going to walk again. But I think what happened was he took a look at his family and he decided that he wanted to do all that he could. He made a miraculous turnaround with his attitude. He tried hard, whether it was down here in therapy or down in the room. He gave 100% every day.
That first day, they sat him up, and he sat up for like 30 seconds, and then he laid back down. And they were like, well, that was good, that's what we're doing for today. And I was just like, wow, you have this, your best friend, your husband, who's this strong 6'3" guy, and he sat up for 30 seconds, and he was in pain the whole time, but they thought that was good.
It was tough. It was, once you come out of something like that, you want to do what you used to do, and you can't. And so, but you realize that you have to try to make the best of it and do what you can. I had really good therapists, and basically they just kept pushing me. I mean, we just tried to do more and more every day.
June 10th. Todd is doing so well. I try to write down something each day to remind us both how far he has come in his therapy. But to Todd, progress is measured in small steps.
As you see the small improvements as a therapist and you bring that to their attention, then they start looking at inch by inch, and each inch turns into a mile, and their hope is just there every day. It's really fun to see that grow.
When he came to us, we focused on his goals in physical therapy, and his major goal and concern was being able to walk again. He had such an incredible motivation to get home to their new house that they had just moved in just weeks before the accident, and back to his family.
When Todd would do his work down in therapy, which would be transferring from the wheelchair to the mat, or back and forth, or doing weight exercises, he always did 100%. But when he came back to the room, he also practiced on independent transfers and on dressing himself. He took pride in dressing and grooming himself on a daily basis. But when Todd took his first stand in the room, and he was able actually to do a pivot transfer with bearing weight, and he could feel the transfer taking place, I think that was the most emotional time for him.
June 23rd. Todd is getting so much better. He still has a long way to go, but he made some really great steps this past week.
I think that one of the things that really sets us apart as an organization is our acknowledgement of the importance of spiritual matters in a person's life and the strength that that provides in helping people face difficult challenges, which is in essence what we do in rehab. Because our mission statement incorporates that, I think we're a lot more open to acknowledging that part of a person's life and utilizing it in terms of our therapeutic plan. And I think that certainly does make a big difference in the outcome of our patients in terms of their return to their own lives and their own function.
Todd's hope and encouragement came not only from seeing his improvements by being shown them day to day, but his wife was here every day, either with their newborn or with both of their children. And just seeing them and seeing the support that she had with the children for their dad also helped encourage him.
Well, they supported him a lot. He never gave up on him, you know, and that's what you need. You need somebody to support you and never give up on you. And his family never gave up. They stuck by his side, and they had the feeling that he could do better, and he did. You know.
July 1st. Well, Todd came home this week and we were so excited. A little bit nervous as well, as we were not sure what all to expect with this new chapter for us. My friend Brian came over the night before Todd came home to play with the kids so I could clean up the house. Brian and Rebecca colored in a sign, "Welcome home, Daddy," and we hung it with balloons over the garage door.
When I first get a patient in and I see them at their lowest and I watch them make progress and then they go home, it makes me realize why I'm here on this floor doing what I do.
Having people come to me so injured and being their therapist is a humbling experience. Here is a person that's been injured, not only physically, but their psyche has been shattered. They're a lot of times devastated, questioning why this happened to them, questioning what's going to happen to them in the future. They're putting their trust in your expertise and in the team's expertise, and you take that and you care for them gently through their recovery. So to see Todd come back without a cane, without a TLSO, it's the reason you get into this profession. It really is. It's what you want to see and what you hope for all your patients.
Well, the whole accident, I mean, just really makes you realize, you know, what are the important things in life. You know, he could very easily not be here. He very easily could be in a wheelchair. You know, it was just really, really great to have him home, and I have my husband.